The United States men's national team just handed another L to El3 with a 2-0 win in the CONCACAF Nations League final to lift the trophy once again for the third consecutive time. The United States remains as the only country to ever win the CONCACAF Nations League, as they have won all 3 editions. 2 of them were by defeating Mexico in the final. Back in 2021, it was a 3-2 win in extra time. Now this year in 2024, which is the game we're going to talk about today, it was a 2-0 win from the United States of America. But what did we learn? Hi, Tim Ream Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to the 7 Things We Learned series, where every single day following a U.S. men's national team match, we tell you 7 things that we learned. Now, obviously, there's more than 7, so you can let me know in the comment section down below, what did you learn from United States 2, Mexico 0? I just really wanted to say it. I'm also looking forward to Serginho Dest, or Destinho's, highlight reel from this game. I know he didn't score and he didn't get an assist, but the highlight reel is going to be freaking good. And this video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, but more on that later. And thank you everyone that joined our Patreon this camp. There's a lot of perks that are going to be added there, so if you want to join, the link is in the description of this video. With that said, a great way to support the channel is by hitting that like button right now. And just do it. Like, just press it. It won't hurt you, I promise. And if it does hurt you, go see a doctor, because there's something wrong with you. Okay, let's go to lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 is something that U.S. men's national team fans probably don't have to hear this, and this is probably for you, the L3 fan, watching this video, to hate watch me. And understand, the United States of America men's national team is better than Mexico. We have better players now. The United States has a better team than Mexico. Let that sink in. In the past, Mexico always had the best players, and then the United States had to grind out results. That has changed. If you watch the game last year in the semifinals, the U.S. completely dominated Mexico. Now, I don't think this performance was as dominant as that one, but in every second of this match, every touch, every pass, every moment, the United States was clearly superior. And now that's a 7-game undefeated streak for the United States, right? Mexico hasn't really defeated us since 2019, pre-COVID. I'm just going to say it. This Mexican generation sucks. They're not good. And this is the most talented United States generation we ever had. That's why the gap is so big. Until Mexico swallows their pride and plays as the underdogs that they are, the United States will continue to spank them. Will they learn? I don't know. Probably not. And I mean, that's fine by me, because we're going to continue to win. We also learned that Santi Jimenez is probably not going to go to Real Madrid, and probably there's not going to be any club that pays like 50 million euros for that overrated center forward. Listen, he's good, but he's probably Eredivisie level, and maybe he should stay with Feyenoord. I think he's good. I just think he's overrated. Lesson number 2 is I gotta give Greg Berhalter credit for this specific match. I thought the lineup was good, the in-game management was good, and we got a 2-0 win. He got the trophy, so credit where it's due. But, and there's always a but not a nice but, this is a bad but. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. A lot of the issues are still there. I think Berhalter's system is not good. It misuses A-Rob. It forces the fullbacks to push high up the field. And that kind of works for Dest. But in terms of Anthony Robinson for Fulham, he's really good just like bombing up the field in transition, in quick moments, right, in transition. And I'm saying transition way too often. Then he goes down the left and whips in those low crosses. The moment you push A-Rob in possession high up the field, and then you pass him the ball in uncomfortable situations in tight spaces, he doesn't have the technical ability for that. So you're misusing A-Rob, one of the players. Gio Reyna was far too deep in the game, while Weston McKennie was high up the field. Now, I don't have too many issues with McKennie high up the field, but I think if you switch that, probably would have gotten better results out of it, because even throughout the game, you saw when Gio Reyna pushed high up the field, freaking scored a goal. And we saw that also against Jamaica. He's not that good when you have him so deep. Overall, there's a lot to be addressed with Berhalter's system that we talked about. It was also a bit different this game. He played a little bit of like Brexit ball, which, what do I mean by that? I just went route 1 football, which is going long to a target man like Haji Wright, which was unusual, but I'd like to see him try to adapt the system to different players in different situations. So for example, if it's a game that Gio Reyna will shine, maybe have a system that you get the best out of Gio, and then maybe one for Pulisic, and just try to adapt the team, because he always wants the team to play one specific way, and there's no adaptability there. So what am I saying? We can dominate Mexico because they are an inferior team, they're worse than us, and they try to outplay us. So when they play the United States, Berhalter's system works, the players are much better, and Mexico gives us too much space and space in behind to make those runs. It makes it a lot easier. I want to see him adapt. And we're going to get to one of the lessons where I'm going to talk about the Copa America. It's specifically for opponents that are either at the same level as us, like for example a Colombia, which is better than Mexico, or opponents that are better than us, like a Brazil or Argentina. So credit where it's due. Greg Berhalter was really good against Mexico once again, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's remember that. Lesson number 3, which was kind of obvious to a lot of us, is Gio Reyna is actually a locked-in starter for the U.S. men's national team. We don't have any player with his player profile and his quality for what he can do. He got 2 assists and 1 goal in this tournament. He was the best player of the tournament, and that's an out-of-form Gio Reyna. So if anyone had any doubts that he was a lock to start, like players like Pulisic and McKennie, well, now you don't have any doubts anymore. Pulisic, McKennie, and Gio Reyna, in my opinion, should be locked-in starters regardless of their club situations. And by the way, during the game against Mexico, even defensively, Gio Reyna was good, to my surprise. Now, before we continue, drop a like in the video if you haven't already, and a quick word from the sponsor of the channel, Underdog Fantasy. We'll be back in a minute. And thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring Tactical Manager TV. Underdog Fantasy is a fun game to play prior to any soccer match, or basketball, or football as well, but we don't talk about those two in Tactical Manager TV. Sometimes basketball during live watch-alongs. I have been playing Underdog Fantasy for over a year now. You can download the app by using the link on the description of this video, and you can also use the promo code TMTV. And Underdog will be matching your first deposit for up to $100. And in the process, you'll be helping the channel avoid bankruptcy. The game I mainly play is called Pick'em. You just click on it, scroll to the soccer section, and pick a player for a specific match and select the stats that you believe will be lower or higher. It's very easy to play, but be smart about your picks because it's not easy to win. I'll be playing some Underdog Fantasy during some match live streams or match live watch-alongs, so stay tuned for that, as I will be forced to cheer for a player or root against him. Now, I am a professional hater, so I'll probably be rooting for the player's downfall. Once again, don't forget to use the promo code TMTV and use the link on the description of this video. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for sponsoring the channel. Lesson number 4 is, I think this camp really gave us a good overlook of how the midfield should be structured for the US men's national team, which is a destroyer, a box-to-box midfielder, and a playmaker. And we kind of have a mini depth chart right there already, with the odd man out being Luca de la Torre. Let me explain. So the destroyer depth chart after this camp would be Tyler Adams as the starter and Johnny as the backup. I thought Johnny was fine against Mexico. After the first 15 minutes, he was a bit shaky. The last 30 minutes, Johnny did some very good work defensively, but Tyler Adams outperformed him and scored a freaking golazo. No, seriously, let's give Tyler Adams a round of applause, because that goal was a beauty, and I owe him an apology. I was not familiar with that game of his. What a shot. Can he do it in a consistent basis? Probably not, but who cares? He did that against Mexico in the final. It was incredible. The box-to-box midfielder to start would be Weston McKennie, and Yunus Musa would be his backup. Now the 10, the central attacking midfielder or the playmaker, would be Gio Reyna, and his backup would be Malik Tillman. Now, with that said, Luca de la Torre becomes the odd man out. He could be in if there's some injuries, but it looks like because he got injured and he wasn't in camp and other players stood out and some players are just ahead of him anyway, Luca de la Torre's stock actually went down this camp, which honestly was expected, and we talked about this a while back with Luca. Still a good player to have, and I mean, out of the 6 players I mentioned, some of them could get injured and then Luca de la Torre slides in. But until then, if all of them are healthy, I don't know if Luca even makes the roster. Lesson number 5 is a quick one, and it's just that Tim Ream can still contribute. I know we have to phase him out or transition away from him eventually, because he probably won't be playing at a high level by 2026. but he should still be our starter in the Copa America, probably alongside Chris Richards, even though Richards wasn't good this camp, so Richards can gain the experience and learn from Tim Ream. But then after that, you can still bring Tim Ream to camp, maybe be a backup, but you got to test other center backs in the friendlies. Before the Copa America, Tim Ream can and will still contribute. And I know a lot of you are saying, we got to move away from him. Not now. Let him still play, and he should start in the Copa America. We saw in this camp that he's still by far our best center back. Richards didn't have a good camp. I still think he should start in the Copa America. Hopefully in the Copa America we see Ream and Richards with Carter Vickers and Trusty on the bench, even though Greg loves Miles and Miles will probably be there. Lesson number 6 is also a quick one. Defensively, I thought we were fine on set pieces, and we have been under the Berhalter era for the most part. Offensively, it has to improve. By that, I mean everything. The one taking it, Pulisic hasn't really been good enough taking set pieces, and we simply don't score enough, or we're not much of a threat on set pieces, and that, to me, is a big issue. Usually, we're going to be underdogs against good teams like Brazil, Argentina, and one way to get goals against teams that are superior to you is through set pieces. You take advantage of them because that kind of levels up the playing field when you do it. And we have players that are threats in the air, right? Like Chris Richards, he scored last year in the Nations League final. Weston McKennie, Johnny Cardoso, if he's playing, he's good on set pieces too to score. We have all these guys and we have to get the job done, and we have to improve set pieces. That's all I'm saying. Offensively. Defensively, I think we've done a good job for the most part. Lesson number 7 is very simple and I think obvious. The Copa America this summer will be the Rio Challenge. Because in this tournament right here, the CONCACAF Nations League, the U.S. men's national team was easily the best team and the favorites to win it, and the boys got the job done, rightfully so. In the Copa America, the U.S. men's national team is not even a top 3 team. So let's see how that will go. The issue with Berhalter and the U.S. men's national team, they're all still there. Will he adjust for this summer, or will all the issues get exposed once again? He's going to be tested this summer, and we'll see if he'll pass it or not. He needs to pull a signature win. He needs to defeat a Uruguay, maybe Brazil, or at least go toe-to-toe with them. Show signs of improvement. Adapt. That's what we got to see this summer. And honestly, going toe-to-toe with Brazil is a better indicator of possible success in the 2026 World Cup than defeating Jamaica, barely, and defeating this horrible Mexican side. Mexico and Jamaica are not good opponents. Let's get over it. Now we need to go challenge Uruguay, play against Brazil, Colombia, and see if we can pull results. See if Berhalter can adjust, and see if the players can step up. This summer is the Rio Challenge in the 2024 Copa America to be played in the United States of America. Alright everyone, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like before you go, and to let us know in the comment section of this video, what did you learn from United States 2, Mexico 0? And obviously we're going to be doing a camp recap this week. There's a lot of content coming up actually. We won't stop, especially because this summer is going to be very exciting with the Copa America and the Olympics. Thank you everyone that joined our Patreon this camp. It's been amazing the support all of you have been giving us. And I want to thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day.